Is 2:32, and I'm going to call the September 2024 College Senate meeting to order. So welcome, everyone. It's always crazy having this meeting the second week of classes, but really the first full week of classes just after drop add. So I taught today, actually 2 classes that I wasn't expecting to teach, but at City Campus for Dave Uzinski, who I miss more than ever because he's not available, because he retired. So today I had like 7 new students between my new classes. So it's like, getting everybody up to speed, and then we have College Senate to do, and everybody's probably doing the same things I'm doing, making sure our students are prioritized and advised and up to speed in all of our classes. And then it's like, wait, now we have academic business we have to do. So I want to thank everybody for being here, and I know there's a million things going on across the college with it being the second week of classes. So thank you very much. A couple of things that I wanted to make sure I talk to you about is the syllabus template, which I am updating. We have the incorrect semester on the Senate site. It's going to be updated momentarily, but our syllabus template is not new, but you may have an old version. A long time ago, the College Senate approved the syllabus template, and it was done with lots of tables, and it was totally ADA, non-compliant, on fire. So if you have not had an opportunity to update your syllabus template, the new one is posted, and it has all of the up-to-date information as far as the Student Access Center and the academic integrity and other various things that our students need to know. So if you haven't done so already, please do that. I did all that for mine, and then I got an email from my chair today that I apparently sent them the wrong one for my one class. So I'm going to update that because, again, and it's for an online class. So on our online students especially, they only have what is available in front of them, and they don't have the luxury of raising their hand right next to me in class to clarify something, or if they can't read something. So please look for that and update your syllabi. The other thing I want to talk to you about, and there's going to be more to come later in the meeting, but is our third week roster, NA never attends. We did a little bit of a workshop on that for opening day. We've been talking about the proper way to mark a student as never attends, but I want to talk to you about what we do as faculty before we do the never attends, right? If we have a student that we haven't seen yet, please reach out to that student. Hey, I just wanted to check and see what's going on, right? Whether it's your online class or your seated class, because as a new student, and they may have missed 2 or 3 classes, they may now be totally panicking and not sure what to do and don't know that it's still safe to come back. Hey, no big deal, you missed the first week. No big deal, you missed the first 3 or 4 classes. Come on in, I'll get you all caught up and you will be good to go, right? Sometimes they need that personal touch. So I want to implore you to please reach out to students that you haven't seen yet before you mark them as the never attends third week roster. See if we can get those kids back in the seats, because that also affects our bottom line. When we do the academic standards report later, we'll get a little bit more involved with the NAs. Another thing that's up on the Senate site is for your information. We are seeking information on 3 potential policies to send to the Board of Trustees. This is a SUNY initiative that is coming down from SUNY and Chancellor King. So I'm just going to, I have a little blurb I want to share with you. It's also on the site. But SUNY has provided all campuses with draft model policies with the goal of ensuring SUNY campuses to continue to promote a safe and inclusive campus climate. Policies were prepared by the SUNY Office of General Counsel in line with system-wide policies and requirements for state-operated campuses and were provided to community colleges to align with local policies and requirements. SUNY Erie has reviewed these policies for alignment with our local policies, and we've also reviewed them with our legal. We are hoping to get these policies to the Board of Trustee Policy Committee, and then once it gets through that, it'll go to the board, maybe possibly by the end of September for the September board meeting. The policies are, there's 4. Freedom of expression and assembly student policy. It's an edit replacement of our current policy. Camping use of tents on campus, and there's some definitions there as well. Identification card policy, so if students are asked for identification when they're on campus or at campus-sponsored events. And then posting policy, so where and who can post policy or papers and flyers and signage around the building and the different rules that are applied to that. So those are on the Senate site for your information, and we are collecting any feedback that you may have, so you can feel free to email myself or Colleen Unks, and then we will share it with the team before we send that to the Board Policy Committee. Ashley?
In terms of the flyers, who is the point person to get a signature from? Is that the dean still or the VP of Student Affairs? There's questions on the, not questions, but if you had any comments or questions about the policy for posting, you would direct those to the VP of Student Affairs, but who do we get a signature for the flyers?
Amy?
It's still the Dean of Students' office.
All right, so if you have a flyer that you would like posted around campus, you need to reach out to the Deans of Students' office to get those approved, and then they can go out onto designated bulletin boards, et cetera. Any other questions about these? All right, please review them when you have a minute, and like I said, email myself and Colleen Ungst any feedback that you have about them. Make sure I went through my list of things. All right, Dr. Sagai was unable to be here today. She is in Albany meeting with Chancellor King, so she's unable to be here. However, she will be at South Campus on Friday at 12 p.m. in Building 5, 5101, I believe the room is, with updates for the college, updates about things going on across all 3 campuses, but also the future space of South Campus. So I urge you, if you have questions or concerns or just general curiosity, to think about joining us on Friday at 12 at South Campus. We also have a pretty awesome party coming up to celebrate Dr. Sagai. The inauguration is later this month. So if you have not already RSVP'd, please RSVP. It's a great opportunity to celebrate our college. It's our first female president of the college. We're breaking glass ceilings, and it should be a good time. So I hope to see everybody there. So with that, I'm going to not move to the president's report. I kind of covered all the things that she wanted. I'm going to pull the agenda back up. Sabrina?
Is there going to be some opportunity, either through recording or some kind of news release for those of us who are teaching at that time on Friday, to be able to get up to date on that news?
So the question is for Friday's forum at South Campus, will it be recorded? Will we send a Q&A? Yep, she can answer. You got to press the button.
Hello. All right. So yeah, we sent an email to staff all, so everyone has the time, date, and location for this event. I urge you all to be there. We don't have any intention of streaming it live on our social media, but, so she plans on doing repeats at all 3 campuses.
Okay. And actually, I think this is a great opportunity, not to put you on the spot, but this is your first Senate meeting. This is our VP of Marketing. Would you mind introducing yourself to the group?
Good afternoon. I'm Angelica Morrison, Vice President of Communications and Marketing here at SUNY Erie.
Awesome.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, does anyone have any other questions before we move on to our business? All right, so we have to approve the meetings from June. That seems so long ago. They've been posted on the Senate site for a while since Mary got them done in June. So with the approval of the minutes for June 2024, I need a motion to accept. Mike Higgins, thank you. Second. Amy Yoder, thank you. Any questions or comments? Any objections? All right, we will approve the minutes by consent. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move to old business, and we're going to go to the governance committee with Michael Rio. Michael?
So there are no governance updates at this time. We'll be reaching out to people to fill any vacancies, and governance meetings will start later this month. And if you have any business to bring to governance, reach out to us. Love to hear from you.
Great.
I think
Thank
that's
you,
it.
Michael.
Yep.
All right, next we have our strategic enrollment management, Dr. Erickson Nealons. We have some summer and fall updates and other items.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I wish everyone a great start to the fall semester. I do have quite a few updates here as it relates then to our enrollment at SUNY Erie. I'll start with the summer. So our summer 2024 numbers have come in and concluded. At this time, those numbers overall in terms of headcount are trending quite well, favorable then compared to where we were last year. A special shout out to Adam. I also saw Jeremy here, Professor Bozeman. I don't think he's here, but those that participated in our Charter School of Applied Technology program over the summer here at North Campus, that was a remarkable opportunity to not only partner and further the partnership with one of our high school partners, but it was a great opportunity then to bring rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors onto our campus here this summer. The feedback was tremendous, and we look forward to then continuing that partnership for summers to come. Not only a great enrollment opportunity, but also a great strategic opportunity to matriculate those students. And so that certainly contributed to our increase that we saw this summer compared to last summer. Switching over to fall semester at this time, headcount is also trending well compared to then this point in time last fall. In particular, we're seeing the trends for incoming students trending well compared to where we were last year as well at this point in time. Likely those incoming students being then where those potential gains may come. As we vet through the numbers, we'll have more of those then throughout the fall semester and certainly report those then to the College Senate. I want to, this is a big laundry list, but again, I think it shows the one college approach and the collaboration here. So I want to have a special thanks to our marketing team, financial aid, our admissions team, Pathways, Say Yes, EOP, Middle Early College, certainly the faculty and department chairs, ITS, we had security, amongst many others, and I apologize if I'm forgetting because my notes are terrible here. The chair days over the summer were tremendously well attended. We saw substantial gains compared to the prior year. I think of all the days in which we had our different registration activity, the only one that was slightly lower was our second open registration day compared to the prior year. So seeing that early enrollment activity starting back in May with our first time students, our incoming students for the fall semester, as well as what we saw in July and August, not only then helped us to better understand what our enrollment was going to be for the fall, but especially with FAFSA, and that's why I give special shout out to financial aid and our financial aid team that had the FAFSA completion workshops. We are seeing things trend well in terms of FAFSA completion, as well as packaging for students at this time for the fall semester. Still opportunities to grow, but we are seeing that things are moving in a positive direction at this time. And then also in terms of updates for next year, so already at this point, we have now opened up our application for fall of 25. In fact, the applications for fall 25, winter 25, spring 25, and summer 25 are now open at this time. I do want to then give a plug here to our open house. Following the success that we saw last year with attendance compared to prior years, we are following the model of having one at each of our respective campuses, starting on November 2nd at City, November 13th at South, and November 14th at North. Each of the events from 4 to 6 p.m. The RSVPs are now live, and myself and Phil and the other team will be meeting then with faculty and staff and the other leads to make sure that these are really then well-attended events to help highlight the value of SUNY Erie to our community. And then lastly, I did want to give an update as it relates to the enrollment management plan. Starting here this academic year, we will be seeing the launch of Connects Ed, which is our online communication platform. This is going to be a multi-year, multi-phase project. Phase 1 is looking to be implemented here in the fall semester in the coming weeks with select student services in financial aid, admissions, bursar, registrar, and the ASAP program. As we look at that first phase and pilot getting feedback from there, the intent is that that'll then be rolled out to all the areas, including academics as well as other student support services in the second phase.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Erickson? All right, I just want to give a plug to all the faculty and staff that came in over the summer for the chair days and for the open reg days, because I know some days were busier than others, but we wouldn't have had successful registration days for our students if we didn't have anyone there volunteering to come in, well, not volunteering, but there to help our students, so thank you very much. Academic Standards Committee was very busy over the summer, and we've had many things that we were talking about, and I'm going to call on Amy Yoder, my co-chair, to talk about NA third week rosters and other items.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to give a plug to the NA committee who's been meeting for the last 6 months on this. That includes Adrian Rannick, Andy Annecy, Sarah Buell, Colleen Quinn, Alyssa Polly, Pat McNair, Dave Arlington, Matt Mazzone, and Pat Ryan. We spent a lot of time discussing specifically how to better define what it means to be a never attend in a class. It's not just logging on to Blackboard, or excuse me, Brightspace. So one of the things to just keep in mind is we did put in the memo that went out from Andy this morning, a better definition of what constitutes course material, particularly with our hybrid and our online classes. It's pretty easy if a student doesn't attend your seated class, you know they're not attending. So this gives a little bit more of a definition to what it means to contribute academically to a class, which is participation in a discussion board, for example, quizzes, assignments, graded components of a course, survey, etc. Got to give a plug to Pat Ryan and his team. As Colleen mentioned, they did a great job of presenting material during our opening day ceremonies. One of the things to stress to everyone, the importance of reporting our NAs. There is so much implication and back-end paperwork process, procedures that have to take place when we have a student that hasn't been NA'd from a course and they should have been after the fact. We have a committee that meets monthly, and I will tell you probably 88% of the cases that we hear are NA situations. That means that a bill has been processed for that student. Sometimes financial aid's been processed for that student. So it has a lot of implications. So I cannot stress enough, the deadline to report the third week rosters is September 22nd, so please do so. If you need help or support with quickly, please reach out. But we're really trying to get everyone at 100% compliance, which would be awesome. And if you know of any adjuncts, let them know and remind them as well, because that's where we're seeing a dip in reporting, so that helps. Like Colleen mentioned, Academic Standards has been extremely busy. We have a lot of work to do and a lot of upcoming work, but we're looking for help and support. We have 2 new subcommittees forming to review some policies that work have been done on, one of which is the Student Code of Conduct. The second is the informal appeal process and adjudication policy. So if you have any interest in serving on that subcommittee, please reach out to myself or Colleen Quinn. We are at the point that we have a good working draft that we would like feedback and input, and to follow our procedures and getting changes through to a policy that's very, very important here on campus.
Great, thank you, Amy. Does anyone have any questions for Amy? All right, I just want to also mention, we really do appreciate people working on these subcommittees. Sometimes it's just we need a second set of eyes. Well, we're 2 sets of eyes, so like a third or a fourth set of eyes, because there's things that we've talked about at length and we might have missed on the student code of conduct or some other policy. So having people participate, whether it's not necessarily having to attend the meetings, they are all remote. We try to make them, as painless as possible, but we need feedback from faculty and staff because there are many areas of the college that I don't know as well as others, and that's where all of you come in. So thank you. I'm going to move on to the General Education and Diversity Committee. Andy Heisey.
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. We've got some news coming from both the SUNY side and also the local side of this. From SUNY, we're looking at having a new core competency at some point. We don't know exactly what the timeline is on having this approved. For a while, it was being called civil discourse, but now the new name for it is civic discourse and democracy. That would be a third of the core competencies in addition to the other two. Speaking of, one of the other two core competencies, that is the information literacy core competency, is being slightly revised so that it can explicitly identify artificial intelligence as part of the information landscape that students have to learn to navigate. So that change is also in process. Along with those changes, there's actually been a survey sent to us by SUNY. They're not specific necessarily about who they want to fill it out. But the idea is to have large groups of people who are affected at the campus level talk about this, think about it, and eventually fill it out, hopefully together. The survey looks at these possible changes, and it also asks about whatever institutional response there already is to matters related to AI. The thought, at least when I talked to Jackie Bossman about this a couple of days ago, is perhaps that might be something for faculty caucus. On the local side, number one, we've made some revisions to the new ILO that we passed last year. That was the Diverse Perspectives ILO. I have my first Gen Ed meeting coming up this Thursday. I'm going to present it there. If it's approved at that point, I'll bring it to this body in October and represent it. A couple of changes. We're just making sure that that particular ILO and the rubric along with it can be used to assess all of the necessary skills that it has to, since it did put a couple of other ones together. Finally, the DEISJ, or Diversity Committee, will be taking a look at a course that's been put forth for possible inclusion in the DEISJ category. That's CR 220, or Ethics in Law Enforcement. After I have done the initial presentation of that to Gen Ed this Thursday, I'll then be getting in touch with Diversity, and we'll figure out how we're going to handle that then.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Andy? All right, so with that survey that's also coming down through SUNY, we've also heard about it through the Faculty Council of Community Colleges. And as Andy said, we want to have as many eyes on it as possible, as much participation as broadly across the college as possible. So please watch your emails for opportunities to fill that out. Also, as he said, maybe at some sort of platform where we could do it together as a group. Because this is another one of those things we don't want to be 2-3 people filling out a survey, and that represents the college, right? That's not a true sample of our population. So we want to make sure that it's as broad as possible. Okay, Kathy?
I just wanted to mention that we forwarded that on to curriculum committee as well, because this will have an impact on those of you that teach in AAS and AOS degrees. So I'd really like to draw your attention to that and make sure you review that with him. Thank you.
Okay, we have Academic Assessment Committee, Sabrina Kane.
So as of this afternoon, Christy Bouette has sent out some surveys to department chairs, and we have our new academic assessment Brightspace module up and running. And so what we need from the chairs is to know who in the unit is going to be entering the data into that, the quote-unquote student in our module, and all of your assessment data is just going to be put into there, and then the Academic Assessment Committee will function as kind of the teacher giving you feedback through our rubric. And so, first of all, familiar way of entering data to anyone in the college, and also a really quick and easy way for you guys to get immediate feedback. As soon as the committee meets, the rubric will be filled out and any comments, and you'll be able to access it. So what we need from you is to tell us who in the unit is going to be entering that data, or if no one tells us by the 20th, the situation is that the department chair with the most seniority in case of units that have multiple department chairs is going to be the person assigned to do that. And it's also my understanding that there's going to be some professional development coming for that, but really it's pretty transparent. It's pretty much like as you enter your assessment data, every unit's going to be doing a couple of assignments in Brightspace, very much the way that we would create assignments for our students.
Thank you. Questions for Sabrina? Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the Artificial Intelligence Task Force. They have not met this summer because we need to approve a new chair of the task force. And so right now, Erica Hendra, who is English at South Campus, has volunteered to take on the position. So at this time, I need a motion to approve Erica Hendra as the chair of the task force. Sabrina Kane, a second. Michael Rio, thank you. Any comments or questions? Any objections? Okay, I'm going to pass this with consent. So thank you, Erica, for taking on this committee. And if you are on the AI task force, you will be hearing from her as far as next steps and when they'll be meeting again. And if you're interested in being on the AI task force, you can email Erica. She's hendrae@ecc.edu, or you can email me directly as well. Does anyone have any other old business that I did not mention? Thank you. So I totally forgot. The attendance went out, so most of us are, used to filling out the attendance via email. If you are new and you are a voting senator or voting ex officio senator, then you got an email to record your attendance. So if you have not done that already, please record your attendance. And then, of course, remember, attendance means you're actually physically in the room. You're not driving. You're not at another campus. I can see you with my eyeballs right now. That means you are attending. Thank you, Mary. All right, new business, Chancellor's Awards. I'm going to turn this over to my co-chair, Kelly Knox.
You got really far away.
You got a big bag in the way.
All right, yeah. Jackie Bossman couldn't be here, so I'm going to speak on, I guess, our behalf. Congratulations to all of those that received a Chancellor's Award this time around. Mary being one of them. Congratulations. And there were several others. As you know, this is an annual process, so we're going to be doing this again. The Chancellor's Committee of the Senate gathers, evaluates, and submits all of the awards and applications to SUNY. It is quite a process. And now that we have 6 new award recipients that are, here at the college, we'd like to invite all of you who have received the award, Mary, to maybe, no, she already does enough, to join the committee, because it's just been Jackie and I, and we definitely need some more hands to help lighten the load a little bit. So we'll be sending out an email to request a meeting soon. And then we also have an upcoming deadline for the Chancellor's Award for the excellence in adjunct teaching. So keep this in mind if you have any adjuncts that you think ought to be nominated. Our committee's deadline for any applications for this award is coming up Monday, October 14th. And the remaining Chancellor's Awards are not due to SUNY until February 18th. It seems like a long ways away, but as you know, it comes up quick. We will need those internally, about a month prior, just to give us, Yeah, to give us enough time to go through them and process them and everything. So we'll keep plugging that probably each one of these meetings. Also a reminder that all applications that go to SUNY need to come out of the Chancellor's Committee of the Senate. Last year we had many applications come in for a variety of awards, which was really, really great. So at this point in the academic year, we have several applications that nominate some very worthy candidates. Some of these applications are still works in progress, and some of them are ready to submit for the 24-25 academic year. So if you've submitted something last time around and that person did not win or their application was not fully complete, we can still process that next time around. So if you want to start the application process this year, just reach out to the current committee members, myself or Jackie Bossman or whoever else joins us. Yeah. Oh, yes. There we go. There's another one. Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Thank you. So Christopher Sanchez in HR and our talent management is going to be assisting us, the Chancellor's Committee, with this whole entire process. He's gratefully taken on the role of collecting all the things and making sure all the boxes are checked so then we can bring it to the committee for review. So thank you, Christopher, for that. He is drafting an email that we're going to push through out of the committee to remind everybody about our upcoming adjunct Chancellor Awards. Again, our college wouldn't function as a college if it wasn't for our adjuncts. I'm sure everyone in here can think of 5 adjuncts off the top of your head that has, the reason your department is running full loads is because of an adjunct instructor. So if you have a name that just came to your head right now, talk to your other department people and let's get some nominations, because our adjuncts work hard for not a lot of money, and a lot of them are adjuncting at more than one institution. So if you have a bright star in your department, let's nominate them for a Chancellor's Award for adjuncts. Is it due to SUNY on the 14th? All right, so it's due to SUNY by the 14th. So I'm going to say internally, we want that by September 30th. So I know it's a 2-week turnaround, but I have faith in you. You can do it. All right, thank you. Next on new business is the Teagle Planning Grant. Dr. Sabrina Kane.
So in case you haven't heard the good news, our institution did win the Teagle Planning Grant for the Learning as Living initiative. So this is basically, and this is a planning grant, which is a small grant to lay the groundwork for this program, and part of it is to apply for the larger grant, which could win up to $250,000 a year for a 2-year period. The idea behind this grant is that we're trying to kind of make some sense out of general education. I'm sure that most of us are aware of our SUNY general education as kind of a cafeteria-style general education. That's fairly common nationwide, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to our students. It's like, take this course from this category, this course from this category, this course from this category, and it just seems like a hodgepodge of stuff that we're requiring without any rhyme or reason. And the idea behind this initiative is to create one of these great questions programs. You've probably heard about these nationwide, and they have great ability to engage students, and engagement and retention is really something that obviously we're all about, right? But the nice thing about Teagle's particular take on it is that this series of transformative questions follows the students throughout their general education plan, so that similar questions might be asked in a science class, as in a philosophy class, as in an English class, and so that they're able to look at some of the big overarching issues of humanity from all of these different angles. So it starts with a gateway class, which is going to be EN 100, and so the English faculty are already on board with this, and we're going to be starting up the first course, which gets everybody on this track, is English 100, and we are looking for people who teach those general education programs, those courses, who are interested in being a part of this. We're going to be having a retreat on November 21st in the afternoon. Anyone who is interested should see me or one of the other people that are involved in this program. Andy Heisey is one, Nathan Netzker, and Jackie Bossman, and Andrea Escobar-Plajman are all the people that are on our little team right now. And if you're interested in this, talk to one of us and maybe come to our retreat and see about transforming one of your general education classes into something that's going to be part of this Teagle grant.
That's super cool. Questions for Sabrina? All right. I have another new business item that was brought to our attention earlier, so I'm just going to call on Colleen Ungst again. Step out of the way. Yeah. I'll bring up the thing from. See if I get my notes. In May, I think we did this.
Okay. Was it May or June? I think it, did we talk about this
May.
then?
I think
In
we
May?
approved it in May,
Okay.
and then we had the other one in June.
All right. So just, I guess, as a refresher from June's meeting, we chatted about the importance of mental health, obviously, among community college students in general, but also, our students and what we offer them and where we could improve. And the Faculty Council of Community Colleges did put forth a resolution supporting mental health funding. It was passed by the FCCC in April. We talked about it in May, and we then passed it as a group. So we wanted to sort of bring that back up in Senate, and if any faculty members or want to attend the FCOTS meeting next week, we're going to talk about a resolution that we are working on to put forward through Senate, and anybody else that is not a faculty member, if you're interested in helping out with this resolution or have some feedback about some ideas that the college, where the college can sort of improve and offer services to our students that we're not doing right now, please reach out and we can talk about that. But I'm pretty excited about where we're at right now and what could come out of that. And as you know, there's funding that's coming forward too. The governor has put out a press release not too long ago, I believe it was in June, about the funding that they are committing to community colleges, specifically in New York State. And the chancellor has spoken about this quite a bit as well.
Any questions? All right, so that was follow-up from things that came through in May and June. Summer was busy. We didn't even forget about it. That's going to be something that's going to be coming forward, hopefully, in the October meeting. Again, if you're interested in participating in the draft of that resolution, please reach out to myself or Colleen Ungst, and then we will workshop it. Channeling Erica Hendra, we're going to workshop it in the faculty caucus of the Senate meeting next Tuesday the 17th, and that is via WebEx. If you aren't sure if you're a member of the faculty caucus of the Senate, you can email Colleen and she'll add you to the listserv. If you are not a faculty member and you want to give feedback, you can email us as well and we'll loop you in. And then the draft will go to the Senate Executive Committee and then to Senate if we feel it's ready. So that's our process. Any questions about any of that? Thank you. And speaking of Chancellor's Awards, we actually have 3 recent Chancellor Award winners in the room. So we have Mary Ertel, we have Dr. Marianne Partee up front, and we got Brian Millville in the back. So, wait, who is? Oh, and Bob. I didn't see Bob back there. We had 4, and Bob Dramoni. So congratulations again to all 4. So, yeah, no problem. Is there any other new business? Ashley?
Well, I just have a question about the meeting Dr. Sagai will have at South Campus. Do we know the dates for City or North? And if we can't attend those dates, who can we express our concerns about South Campus to?
Kathy?
We do not have dates yet, and I will follow up on where concerns should be sent.
Great. Michael Higgins?
Just a question about the Friday meeting at South Campus. Why was that scheduled at the current time when people are still in classes? Can that be pushed till later in the day possibly? Just a question.
Kathy?
Dr. Sagai has a meeting that afternoon with students that was previously scheduled at 2. So we can, I think that Friday is going to stay at that date and time just because of her calendar, but the other dates will do better.
Great, thank you. All right, if there's no other new business, then what we're going to do is turn off the cameras, but that doesn't mean the meeting is over just yet. We're going to turn it over to for the good of the order, and that is the portion of the meeting that is off the record, but where you can ask questions, we can bring up concerns, et cetera, and a lot of problem solving does happen at that point, and we will follow up with anything at the October Senate meeting on camera. So I'm going to wait for Bob to give me the signal.